All right, so before we get into this and dive deep into this whole controversial issue of these tattoos on my body, like and subscribe right now, all right? Like and subscribe so you can be part of the family. Come on. Let's talk about tattoos. I got my first tattoo when I was 17, 18 years old. I remember I think it was like my 18th birthday, as a matter of fact. Like I was still in high school, about to graduate, and I just couldn't wait. Only a few of us were 18 because most of us were like 17, so you had to be 18 to legally get a tattoo. And I went by my middle name in high school. I went by Devon. So I got LECRAE put on my arm so that just because it was my real first name, I thought it was gonna be significant. I have since covered that up because it was weird. In high school playing basketball, it was just so dope to be on the court during a game and you got the whole tattoo. Or they made you put a bandage over it. Some schools, you didn't have to put it. So it's like, yo, yeah, I'm out here, baby. I don't know why, it just made me feel like I'm really doing something major. Tattoos are controversial, obviously, like growing up and being a part of the church. There was always like this controversy around, is that like okay? Is it approved of? And I remember, I think my grandmother asked me one time, she's like, you still love Jesus, baby? So needless to say, I realized that that's not really a hindrance for me, because I started getting more and more tattoos. But it's crazy because like the Bible verse that everybody refers to, Leviticus 19, talks about like don't make marks on your body for the dead, but then in like a verse or two ahead of that, it's like don't shave the side of your hair either. So I guess if you can't get tattoos, you also shouldn't be getting haircuts. And it also says don't eat shellfish, so don't eat crab legs and anything. So it's just like, I mean, what are we doing here? Context is everything. Two arms represent two different things. So this arm is like the spiritual arm for me in a lot of ways. This arm is not done, but it's gonna be more of like the, traditional cultural arm once I get it finished. But on this arm, like I said, I started with my name. I had like a Japanese symbol up here for talent that I got when I was working at Domino's in school, and I don't know. And then I was like, I don't even know if this really says that, so let me not embarrass myself and find out. Let me just cover this up. So most of this arm is like covering up my name and that embarrassing Japanese symbol. But what I did was I started like at the bottom, and Maya Bailey, who's a phenomenal artist here in Atlanta, he did a lot of this work right here. This massive piece right here is a man on a tree, if you can kind of see it, but the tree is dying. It's like cursed is whoever hangs from a tree, but it's kind of like in the reality is death brings life. So it's the idea that, though this tree is dying and death brought it, there's also like the tree looks a little bit like veins. So the veins are kind of like the lifeblood for me. So that death brought me life. And so that's a picture of that. And then, more symbolic is like, death in a burning skull, but also a flower that's burning. It's kind of like the burning skulls, like there's a fire shut up inside my bones, you know what I'm saying? Like a passion to be what God created me to be. You had this Celtic symbol, this triquetra symbol, which is a spiritual symbol, for infinity, and then Father, Son, Spirit. Right here, you have this hourglass with a skull inside of it. I got that done in Hawaii, and that's just kind of like a whole idea of like, use your time wisely because the days are evil. Of course, the 116, the whole squad, unashamed. So it's funny, the story like around that is like, 116 was initially like me and my homie BJ, and we were like, it was kind of like, yo, man, like we really unashamed of our faith. Like, yeah, it's like almost like a gang type of vibes. And so we had these iron-on shirts, terrible, ugly. And to really step it up, it was like, you gotta get a tattoo if you really about this life. So my man Ben Washer designed it, and then we tattooed it on ourselves because it was like, yeah, let's really be about this. So I think BJ and I were like the first two people to get it tatted. And then my man Tadashi got it, and then it just became like international. Like these tattoos, 116 pops up all around the world, Africa, everywhere. Of course, Jonah coming out the mouth of the whale. Jonah's one of my favorite characters in the Bible, just because, he was hard-headed and it took a while for him to learn his lesson, but when he did, he learned it, and I relate to him a lot. And then of course, just like the planetary vibes, you know what I'm saying? Just like otherworldly, just great art and design. I have one new tattoo I just got, is a slot machine with 3 crosses in it, and it's just kind of like a reminder to bet on God. You know what I mean? Or I hit the jackpot, with the 3 crosses there. And then this was the same tattoo that Tupac had, the same cross. Tupac was like my favorite rapper. It's a tattoo shop in Houston called Dago's, man. Everybody used to go there for the $50 tattoos. So all my tattoos that are like bad or poor quality, I paid like 25, 50 bucks for them. Bow, one here, a couple on my chest, one on my back, a barcode, you know, cause it was, I think I got it off a Newport package or something like, it's just, anyway. Shout out to Dago's, but make sure you know what you're doing when you get there. I got this at Dago's as well. The cross, I mean, you know, it's like when you flip open a book and you're like, yeah, that right there, give me that right there. You know, you don't know anything about it. I'm building this out right here. This, like I said, is gonna be my cultural piece. Africa right here, I'm gonna fill some of this in, but it's just kind of like, you know, 1% just representing like the resources that have been stripped away, the life that's been stripped away, and for anybody to have survived ancestrally from those ancestors. You know, we make up 1% of us are still like thriving, even though everything's been taken. Rehab, that was my first like big album, was a Rehab album, and it was symbolic, and so that was a big thing for me as well. Back here I got HGA. It's really bad, I don't like it, but it was kind of like a spur of the moment. Me and my man KB, I think he was like, I'm gonna get the 116. I was like, I'm gonna get the HGA, you know what I'm saying? And I should have got it done with better letters, but I didn't. But it's an experience, a memory. HGA, you know, shout out to the squad. I got my wife's name right here. That's the one that hurt the most, was my wife's name right here on my rib. She's my rib, so I got her on my rib. And then the last one was my wedding band, but you really can't see it. So it's kind of like, yo, it's kind of lame. I mean, you can see it, but you can't see it. And my wife was like, they can't see it, put a ring on it. So put the ring on it. But artists always be having the wedding ring tattooed. I don't know why artists like that. I don't know, it just feels less cumbersome. I think this makes us feel like real dad mode and not artistic or creative or something like that. But I got it, and my wife is happy, so am I. But yeah, man, that's a little tattoo journey.
What's going on, y'all? Thank you for checking out my channel. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and ring the bell for the notifications. Also, check me out on social media. Name is spelled LECRAE. God bless y'all.